Hello, and welcome to the Spring Leaders Meeting. Today's meeting, we're going to be going over the Spring Leaders Packet, which is a new packet that you all got today. It's this one, and it is also available online now at campwhitsett.org/summer/forms. And what this packet has is more detailed information about the program for this coming summer. Along with it, you'll notice is the merit badge information that I know all of you guys have been waiting long for. I do ask that you guys save any questions about merit badge stuff until we get to the section. That way, don't have to repeat ourselves and we get all the information there. So the last portion of the meeting will be answering any questions that you guys have about the camp. So we're going to get started. If you turn in the guide that you have, if you turn a couple pages, you have a table of contents. This guide is divided into 3 parts. Administration, special programs, and merit badge stuff. And so it kind of tells you where in this guide you can find that information. And then you turn the next page and it gives you the list of everything that's talked about in this section. So if you turn to the 5th page, you'll see the camp map. This is something that's available online also and in this packet. And so you guys can take a look at it, get your scouts familiar with it. You can make copies all you want. It's also something we have plenty of copies at camp, so when your scout gets lost or something, we can give them a copy and they can hopefully find where they're going. The next page has a schedule, kind of a daily schedule breakdown to give you guys an understanding of what the daily schedule looks like. So we're just take a typical Monday here. We'll have flags at 7:55, followed by breakfast at 8. So we usually, for flags, we do gathering at the parade ground. So we can do our flag ceremony. We disseminate some information afterwards, usually any new or updated stuff, along with any events that are going on for the day. And then we'll dismiss everybody in an orderly fashion to breakfast. That way you don't have a mad dash to food. Starting at 9 o'clock starts the general program times open for merit badges, and that goes all the way to 12, where the areas will close down. At 12:30 we have lunch, and then starting at 2 o'clock all program areas will open up again for afternoon program, including some merit badges and then lots of free time. Starting from 3 to 5 all areas will have what we call free time, and that's where you can go to different areas and do different activities outside of merit badges. You can go over to Frontier and do some tomahawk throwing. You can go do some free shoots over at the ranges. You can go to nature and learn about animals or get to hold one of the snakes in the cages. At camp, you'll get a list of all the activities that can be done during these free time sessions. 5:30 is dinner. And then we have evening flags at about 6:30. And then from there, we go into the evening, 7 to 8. Most areas are open for some free time activities again. And then at 8 o'clock, most places close down so you guys can have some relaxation time in your campsite. It also gives you time for those merit badges that require homework or doing some other stuff. You'll also notice we have some events going on some evenings. For example, Tuesday night we have our Order the Arrow rededication. So what we usually tell people is at evening dinner and colors, where we're having them wear their uniforms, they can wear their sashes, and then we'll have a special ceremony. Thursday nights we usually have a movie down at the trading post where we'll show some age-appropriate movie for the camp. Don't ask me what it is right now. It kind of changes from week to week. So that kind of gives you a glance at the schedule. One of the other special things to note is on Friday, all of our program areas close at 3:30. We have an event at Waterfront called Aquacade. It's troop versus troop competitions at the waterfront. We do things like sand castle or sand sculptures and backwards canoe races and some swimming relay races. So that starts promptly at 4, and by I mean promptly 4 o'clock, as soon as the clock hits, we start and get going on it, since we have a lot to do in a short amount of time. Because of that, all of the areas will close at 3:30. That way you guys have time to get back to your campsites, get everyone changed, and over to the waterfront in time for the event. So if we move on to the next page, here's a list of different things for the troop to bring, like flags, first aid kits, games and stuff, bear bag or bear canister. We do have bears in camp, and you'll probably be experiencing that. We do not have bear canisters or big bear bins in the campsites, so it's usually urged that you guys bring some type of canister or bear bag. Bear bag's pretty simple. You can get some long rope and be as simple as using the stuff sack to your sleeping bag. I've done that numerous times. So you can go down this list, see other things that we've recommended for troops to bring. If you move to the next page, page 8, it is a what to bring recommendation for the scouts. So this kind of goes over everything we've noticed over the years for scouts to be bringing, like their uniforms and toiletry stuff and items for merit badges and stuff like that. And then you'll notice on here we do have items that are little asterisks. That's items that you can find in the training post. We understand you might get to camp and have left your toothbrush or toothpaste at home. So we have some of those amenities that we sell in our camp store or training post, so you can pick that kind of stuff up. If you move on to the next one, this is information, or this is the stuff to leave at home. You can kind of go through it. Some of the highlights is your scouts don't need their electronic devices, their Game Boys, their phones. Hate to tell you guys this now, but there is no cell service in the camp. The closest cell service is about a 45-minute drive to Kernville. Because of that, they don't need it. If they need to bring it for the car ride, you lock it up in your car or something, but they won't need it during the week. And it just has other things that we kind of see not to bring. Also on this page, it talks about the unit insurance. That's just your unit's insurance with the council. If you're part of a WLACC troop, then that's something you don't need to worry about. But if you're outside of the WLACC council, then you do need to help provide that to us. Usually we have troops bring it in when they check in on Sunday. You can get it pretty easily by just calling your local council office, and they will help you with that. So the next page talks about your departure and arrival to camp. Kind of just going through, this is just some detailed information about coming to camp. We open our gate up at 1 o'clock on Sunday, and that will be when we will allow cars into the camp. The way we kind of work our check-in is 1 o'clock we open, you get to a upper parking lot where you will meet your troop guide. This person is someone who will show you around the day at camp, take you to your campsite, get you settled in and take you on our round robin and making sure you guys get checked in. Once you do that, we will then get you to your campsite. Something to note is we do allow cars into the camp areas. Usually you're parking off the side or on the road or off to the side of the road. We don't actually have the cars get all the way into the campsite. We can't have them doing that, and we ask that you don't. There are pipes and stuff that can be run over and broken. But you will be able to get one over, and the way we do it is we send one car for each troop at a time. We can't have one troop bringing all 10 cars in and bogging down our roads. We just don't have big enough roads. So we'll do one car per troop at a time, and we've had it done numerous ways. The way we recommend is you find a car, or get one of your cars, throw everything from all the other cars into it. That way you're not waiting for each car to come through camp. And then your scouts can walk to their campsite. Otherwise, the other way to do it is one car at a time, unload it, and get it out of there, and have the next car come in. Once you get back, once you unload, we do ask that the cars head back up to the parking lot where they can park. This goes the same for trailers. You can take the trailer into the campsite or close to the campsite, unload it, but once it's unloaded, we ask that it goes back up to the parking lot. We can't really have cars parking in the parking lots for long term, and the same goes for trailers. So once you get to your campsite, the first thing all the scouts want to do is pick their tents and start unpacking. Usually we urge to quickly get into bathing suits. Some troops in the past have actually come wearing their bathing suits ready to go, either as part, under their uniform. And this just makes it quick and easy for you guys to get started on the round robin, because that will take some time. So we ask that you just quickly get into your bathing suits. From there, you'll head over to the health lodge, where you will get your medical recheck. You'll have forms, the health form and a permission to shoot form. We ask that you guys keep those separate because the permission to shoot forms are going to go with one adult down to the trading post, where they'll get checked in, get wristbands, asked how many people are coming with their camp. And the other group will, with the medical forms, will go to the health lodge. So we try to ask that you guys get those separated. It makes everyone's lives easier when you're checking in. From there, you'll head down to the waterfront, where you will get your swim check done. And then you will once your swim check's done, you'll be taken around the camp to kind of meet some of the other areas, nature, frontier, shooting sports, where you will have chats with their area directors and find out what's going on with them throughout the week of camp. Once all that's done, once your round robin's done, you have some time to relax, enjoy. And then we have dinner at 5:30, flags and fire drill at 6:30, and then a leaders meeting at 7, where we go over more information about the week. We'll reiterate a lot of information that we're giving you guys now at that leaders meeting. And then the evening campfire later in that evening. So if you move to the next page, this is directions on how to get to camp. Coming from different areas, most people will probably be coming from either the 5 through Bakersfield or the 14 through the Mojave. It's pretty simple to get to camp. Once you get into Kernville, you're just going to take the Mountain Road 99 all the way up. You'll see a place almost to camp called Johnsondale or our ranch. Once you're there, you're about 4 miles away from the camp. You'll go past that a little. You'll see a sign off to your right and a turnoff, and from that turnoff, you're 3 miles from the camp. You'll see a big gateway that leads you into camp. And then the next page just kind of gives you a bird's eye view map of the Isabella area and where the camp is. So the next page talks about the required forms. We do require that everybody has a medical form, so anybody staying, both youth and adult, does need to have the official Boy Scouts medical form, parts A, B, and C filled out. C is the part that needs to be filled out by a doctor. We do remind you guys that the medical forms have changed over the years, and now we have to have a new one every year. And what I mean by that is the medical form that's signed by the doctor has to be good for the whole time of them being at camp. If you had to have a medical form, if they did one in this May or earlier this month, that's fine. It'll be good for the whole time at camp. But if they have one that says June 24th and you guys come up to camp June 22nd, then that medical form would not be valid because it'll expire before camp is over. However, if you have one that says July 13th, 2013, and you're coming to camp June 22nd, then that one will be fine because it's good for the time that they're at camp. So it's just kind of something to remember and look at. Also, you can go to our website and get a link to where the form is. You'll mainly find the form on National's website. We used to host it. We've stopped hosting the actual forms because National likes to change it on us. They recently changed the form, so there's a new 2013 or 2014 form. I don't know what year they decided to put at the bottom. So if your scouts have already filled out one and filled out the previous form that they had before the change, and it's going to be good for their whole time at camp, that'll be fine. They can use that form and not have to worry about it. But if they're getting ready to fill out a new form, we do ask that you download the newest form and use that. I think they changed some of the information so it's easier for people to see the form and understand where the information is. The other form that the scouts will need is the youth permission form. And that's the permission to shoot, permission for us to take pictures, and some regulations about camp. It's a 3-page form. So we do need that from everybody. In order for a scout in the state of California to touch a firearm, they have to have permission from their parents. So we'll need to have that filled out. If you have a parent that doesn't want them to shoot, doesn't want them to touch a firearm, that's fine. They just cross out the permission to shoot and say no shoot, and we'll take that. If a scout comes without that form, then the same thing's going to happen. We can't have them shoot until we get that form filled out by the parents. So again, both those forms can be found online at campwhitsett.org/summer/forms. We're going to be shortly putting up some more packets beyond just the Spring Leaders packet, including a youth packet, which will put together all the information and forms you guys will need to give to your boys. So you can print that packet out and hand it over to the boys before they come to camp. The next page is the troop roster. And this form is just for you to fill out before you come to camps and bring it in. You'll be turning it in when you check in at the training post. And this is so we know who's in camp. And if someone's on here and they decide not to come to camp at the last minute, you can cross them out. But this is how we know. You'll have first name, last name, BSA ID. It helps you keep track of the forms and stuff you need from the boys. You'll also notice there's an ethnicity tab, and at the bottom of the page it says ethnicity and gives you some choices to use for that. The reason we're collecting the ethnicities is for the Forest Service. Every year we fill out a survey with the Forest Service, and one of the questions they ask is ethnicity. It's a way so they understand who has come to our camp and what ethnicities have come to the camp to enjoy the facilities. So it's something that we ask you filled out. This form is available not only in this packet, but on our website at the forms page as both a PDF and a Excel document. So you can actually take the Excel document, type it in, type all the information in, and print that out, and you don't have to sit there and handwrite everybody's name and all that stuff. So the next form is a Adult Leaders Resource Form. This form is kind of just helps us know, what the ability of our adults are at camp. We always seem to find out at the end of the week that there's an adult who loves to help out in one of the program areas, or has a trade skill like plumbing or electrical work that we could have helped maybe utilize during their week of camp. So this is just something you can have your adults fill out their coming, and then turn in at check-in, and we'll be chatting with everybody. And it just goes over some of the specialty programs. So the first page talks about our SPL training or Beaver program. I just want to start off by kind of letting everybody know the importance an SPL is while they're at camp. The SPL goes to meetings throughout the week, and they're getting told information about events that are going on, who to go to sign up for a bike ride, or who to sign up for some shooting time for your troop, or the Cat-Eye Trail for the nighttime orientation hike. So they're going to learn a lot. It's information that they're going to get that you want to make sure they share to the troop, because that way the troop gets the information. Sometimes we've had 2 people from every troop come to these SPL meetings, so an SPL and an assistant patrol leader or a patrol leader, to make sure everyone gets information. You want to make sure the information gets to you guys. We've had problems in the past where an SPL goes to these meetings, gets all this information, and then doesn't take it back to the troop. He doesn't do anything. Adult leader will come to us kind of upset that they missed out on some opportunities for fun, whether it was a bike ride or a shooting spot for the troop. And we let them know that the SPLs got this information at the meeting, and asked if they sent the SPL to the meeting. And usually ends up happening is we have a sit down with the SPL, the adult leader, and come to find out that the SPL got all the information, but he wasn't interested in it and decided not to disperse it to the troop. Or that it doesn't disperse it to the troop, and then the troop has has a problem there. Sometimes, usually the Scoutmaster is not happy at the SPL, or the leaders aren't happy at the SPL at that point. So you want to make sure your SPLs are doing a good job at camp. One of the things that kind of help them is this SPL training. It's a week-long program. Usually they come the week before the troop comes to camp. Unfortunately, we understand for those troops coming week 1, we can't really have the SPL program the week before because it's our week to get the camp prepped and our staff trained. So for those people, they can come after, or the week after the camp, the troop is there, so week 2. They won't get the full portions, parts of the program that are crucial to your troop's success at camp, but they're still going to get the leader training. So the way this program works is they're going to have a couple time slots throughout the day to do a merit badge or 2, and then we're going to then take time with them to give them some leadership training, going over what the importance of an SPL is, how to run meetings, how to control people, and just kind of take charge of a troop. They're also going to be introduced to they're going to be with the staff, they're going to be introduced with people, and so when your troop's there, they know who to go to sign up for different activities. The way some of the troops have really worked well with this program and utilized their SPLs, they send them the week before, they get some merit badges done, they do this leadership training, and then the week their troop is there, because they've already done some merit badges, they do fewer merit badges and kind of help the troop leadership out with the scouts, the young scouts, that may be helping herd them to the right merit badges or the right classes. That way, if you're a large troop, they can kind of help with some of the scouts getting moved around, and you're not having to worry about all your scouts getting to the right locations because you have your SPL there to help you beforehand. So like I said, they come up the week before. This form has a little information where to go to register for it, and the pricing's $175. We usually ask bring a tent. That way, in case we don't have any open tents, they will have a tent with them. Usually what happens is they're placed in our staff area with our staff. We have a staff member who oversees the program and watches them, makes sure they're doing things they want to do and running the program for them. So they're always looked at. So the troop just has to bring them up the week before, just brings them up, and then troop drops them off, they can leave. We don't need an adult with them. And what they'll do is they stay the whole week, including the weekend. So they'll stay at camp. You don't need to come pick them up and then bring them back the next day when your troop comes. We do have laundry facilities so they can get laundry done, and we watch them and feed them over the weekend also. So that's our SPL program. Moving on, we have some awards. And for those that have been to camp before, you know that we've had a lot of different patch programs and patch awards, and it gets kind of confusing. So what we've done is kind of rehashed a lot of them and kind of even added a new one or two. The first set, so we broke it down into three categories. We have an individual, a patrol, and a troop. So this is the first page is talking about the individual awards. The Beaver Award, it's just that award for the Scouts' first year coming to a summer camp. And it's just some easy stuff, gets them to see the camp and do some things. The second one is the Flying W, and that's for the Scouts that have been to camp more than once now. It doesn't have to be our camp, just been to any summer camp more than once. And they do the Flying W. If they've, if this is their second or third year to camp but not Whitsett, they can do both if they'd like to. And the Flying W just builds upon the Beaver Award, adds some more requirements to the listing. Both these awards are tracked by the troop leadership, and at the end of the week, we let the troop leadership determine if the Scouts completed it and how to go about getting the recognition for that. Moving on to the next page is our patrol-based award. This is kind of a rehash of an old award, which used to be called the Uncle Steve Award. We now call it just the Patrol Award. And this is an award to be done by the patrol as a whole. Sometimes we understand the smaller troops can't bring their patrols from back home. What my troop would do and what you can do is the Scouts that are coming to the camp, you can make them their own patrol. So you get them all together, and for summer camp alone, they're this patrol. They can make a flag, make a yell, and be together as a patrol. And this way they can do the patrol award together. And so it's stuff, some of the basic stuff you guys will take care of, and troop leadership will sign off, and bring your patrol flag to camp, sit together as meals as a patrol. And then the second and third portion goes into the patrol going to different activities or doing different activities together. They have to do it together. We don't want them just saying, "Oh, Johnny over there went to did the cat-eye trail for the whole patrol and we're getting it marked off." That's not what the patrol award is about. It's about them as a patrol doing activities together and building teamwork and getting to know each other a little better. So once they get to camp, there will be a score sheet, and it'll tell you who to go to sign off everything for this one. Moving to the next page, we have the Troop Award. This is a brand new award this year, and this is an award that it's to challenge troops. They're going to want it, if someone wants to do this, the whole troop's going to want to have to do it, because it will use everybody from the troop. If you kind of go down to section 2, it has, the first ones have 50% of your scouts complete the Beaver or the Flying W Award, and have at least one patrol complete the Patrol Award. The other part is part 4 with some adult involvement. Have an adult leader participate in adult leader training, have an adult leader go participate in Project Cope, and then have an adult leader participate in the Adult Leader Award. So it's basically the Troop Award is going to be something that everybody is going to have to get involved in in the troop to get this award. At the first SPL meeting, they're going to get a scorecard, and it's going to tell you how to get everything signed off. And the majority of those sign-offs will be done with certain staff members. And then at the end of the week, you turn the scorecard in, and we'll present any troop that completes it during the award at campfire. So it's one of those things that we kind of are going to throw out there in front of everybody, say this troop took the time and did this award. So that's the new one that we're introducing. If you turn to the next page, the other new award we're introducing is the Adult Award. I've kind of found that you guys as the adults coming to camp want to have some fun too. The boys need to have fun, but for the boys to come to camp, it takes you guys as the adults to get them there, and we want to make sure you guys have fun too. So we're introducing this year the Adult Award, and it's kind of meant to have some fun. If you kind of go through the requirements, you'll notice a lot of them are just fun to do, fun requirements to do. Take a nap safely, or kick a scat out of your chair. Spend 5 minutes talking or occupying a staff member's time. Go fishing. So it's kind of there so you can get to different areas, get to have some fun, and relax while you're at camp. So like I said, it's the first time we're doing this award, and we wanted to make sure you guys as the adults are having fun while you're at camp. So this is one of those things you can do. The last thing in this section is our Sierra Expeditions, our high adventure programs. For those that don't know, we do have high adventure-based programs that you guys can do coming to camp. And these 2 pages kind of goes over that. 3 out of the 4 programs are meant as registered, signed up group programs. And what I mean by that is a troop or a venture crew, whoever comes together as a troop or as a group and does it. They're going to need at least 1 adult. They're going to need at least 5 people to participate in those programs. It's not the type of programs that we take one scout from that troop and one scout from another troop and put them together and they have a group. For 3 of the programs, we don't do it that way. You need to come together as a group. Those 3 programs are treks, cycling, and on the last page, the horse program. So kind of going over them, the trek program is designed, we have an easy, medium, and hard, designed to take troops out to the backcountry as a group and get to see some parts of the area up there in the Sequoia Monument that you don't get to see while you're coming to camp. And again, I said we have easy, medium, and hard. The easy starts with you guys are interested in going backpacking, but you know nothing about it. So you're going to spend a couple days in base camp learning about backpacking, learning about all the equipment, stoves, backpacks. You can't take your duffel bag and your Coleman 2-burner Coleman stove on a backpack trip. It's not feasible. So you're going to learn about backpacking stoves, how to cook on them, how to use them. You're going to learn about water filtration systems because most times there's no plumbed water out there. You can't just go to a spigot and get your clean drinking water. You're going to have to go to a river or a lake and filter that water to make it drinkable. So we go from start from the basics, build up, and the last couple days you'll actually spend out on an easy hike trail to kind of use the skills that you learned throughout the week out in the backcountry. And then we have harder trips as they go. It's kind of based on what the group wants to do. The second program on there is the cycling program, and that one is, if you've ever tried to put together your own long-term cycling program, it takes a lot of work, because not only are you getting the bikes together, but you're having to get this, a chase vehicle or getting the equipment from point A to point B if you don't want to carry them on your bikes. So we're taking all of that hard planning out of it. We take care of all that, and all your troop has to do is go out on the bike ride. The scouts can bring their own bikes if they would like, but the camp will also provide bikes for those that don't have them. And for that, they will have to wear a helmet. We require everybody in camp, or everybody that goes on any of our bike rides to use helmets. Basically, you're going to get on the bike, you're going to go from point A to point B. All you'll have is probably a day pack to have some water and a lunch. And we basically load a box trailer, and when you get to point B, that trailer will be there with all your food, more drinking water, and all of your camping equipment for the night. You get up the next morning, go to a new location, and the trailer will be there when you get there. So we move all the equipment for you guys, and you're just on the ride. Again, that one also has a easy, medium, and hard. Now, I'm going to skip over the third and go to the second page, which is the horse program, or the horse pack program. And this one is a week-long, they're out of camp all week, program that you're going to go out on a trail. You're going to learn about horses. You're going to learn about pack mules. You're going to, basically from day one, get on a horse, go to their base camp and learn all about them, how to take care of them, how to treat injuries with horses and all that kind of stuff. By the end of the week, your scouts will have earned the horsemanship merit badge that kind of goes with that program. It's a very interesting and neat program. They have we work through a third-party pack station that has the staffing for it, and they kind of bring back the Western. They are cowboys. Some of the staff used to do herding of cows and stuff out there, and so one of the big highlights last year was you see this rugged cowboy, and you see the dole leader going on the trip asking this guy, should I bring this big bottle of hand sanitizer? And the cowboy just says, what do you need that for? You don't need hand sanitizer out on a trail. So it's definitely a program, different experience, and gets you out of camp. Again, the trek, cycling, and horse programs are all group-based programs. Moving on to Sierra CPT, that one's more of a provisional-based program. That one's that program that we can take one scout from that troop and one scout from that troop, put them together, and have a group to go out. We fully staff it, so you don't need to have adults on the trip. However, if you have an adult that's really wants to go out on it, they're more than welcome to. And it is provisional based, but if you have a crew that wants to go on this trip, they're more than welcome to also. And what this is they're going to do some cycling, they're going to do some hiking and backpacking, some climbing, some cope, and then a lot of outdoor ethic training, learning about leave no trace and preserving the wilderness and stuff like that. So it's kind of like an introduction level to high adventure. The program was originally kind of designed for those scouts that come with you and have every merit badge, the 15, 16-year-old in your troop who is going to sit back at your campsite all week causing trouble by playing cards and not doing classes. So this is a way to put them in somewhere. They basically leave camp Monday morning and they are gone all week. You won't see them in camp until Friday. So that is a different program for them. Kind of a note with that program is we can't really run it without 5 participants. So if you are interested, you can always let us know and we can try to find, let everybody know that we might have a group and get enough people to run the group. So the trek and cycling, we ask for at least 5, maximum of 12. The horse program, we can take no more than 8, and that's just what the horse pack people have permits for and stuff, plus themselves. And then the CPT program, we need at least 5, and we can go up to 12, and we will provide the staffing for it. If we don't get enough people for the week, then we will work with the CPT person or someone in your troop to give them a little bit of a different camp experience around the high adventure-based activities. All of these programs do have their own signups, so if you go to the Camp Whitsett website, and under summer information, you'll find the tab that says Sierra Expeditions. Click there, you'll find more information about those programs and links to their registration pages so you can register for them and get that done. So that is Sierra. So moving on to the last section of this guide, and the section you guys have all, I'm sure, been waiting for, the merit badge section. So this kind of goes over all the merit badge information for camp. The first page kind of gives you a thing on how to sign up for merit badges. We've moved away from blue cards over the years. We've moved to an electronic system that prints out a full sheet of paper that we call the blue sheet. It'll have the watermark and letterhead for the council on there, and basically works just the same as a blue card. We've been using this system for, or systems like this, since 2005, and every council that has ever come to one of our camps, both ours and Camp Emerald Bay, have taken these in place of blue cards. So you don't need to worry about blue cards coming to camp. This saves your scoutmaster or your couple adults all the time of having to sign every single one of those blue cards. It can be very tedious. This also helps because in 5 years, when Johnny over there is signing or trying to get his eagle done and can't seem to find the merit badge card for swimming, but he knows he took it at one of our camps, you can always call us up. We can look up Johnny's records and show that, give you a copy that, yeah, he completed swimming in 2014 at one of our camps. So like I said, this is done online. It'll be done through the double knot system. The merit badge side of it will go live April 23rd. We're doing a soft rollout, so starting today until then, you can go on now and start inputting all of your scouts' names into the system. All you can do is input their names. You won't be able to put any merit badges in for them, but you can input their names and get that in. So when merit badge registration goes live, you can go in, you have all the names in, and now you're just putting them in their classes. One thing I do want to tell you guys now and kind of ban out there or send out there is we don't cap any of our merit badge classes at this time. We don't cap our merit badge classes. I don't know, everyone thinks we do, so they quickly, as soon as the merit badges go live, rush it, and it bogs down our system and makes it run really slow. So with the thought of we don't cap classes, you don't need to worry about getting on there right away on the 23rd and getting your scouts into their classes. Instead, we use this pre-sign-up so we know how many people to expect in one of our classes. That way, if a class is big, we'll either add another section or get a couple more staff members and make the class smaller by dividing the class up into smaller groups with more staff. But we do ask that everybody signs up before coming to camp because our internet is really slow and it will take you a long time to do the registration at camp. One of the other things to note about the registration, it is done through double knot. You will need the user information from the person who does who did the main sign up for the troop in double knot. Unfortunately, our system doesn't allow for one unit to have multiple logins for their people. So you will need to, whoever did the main registration, talk with them. If they're going to do the merit badge signups, great. If they're not, then just ask them for the user information, the email address, and password. That way you can go on and do it. We also really do urge and ask that one of your adult leaders that comes to camp knows how to do the merit badge signups and has the username and password for the merit badge signups. That way, if there's any corrections that need to be done when you get to camp, Tommy realized after jumping in the lake that he doesn't want to do swimming at 9 o'clock and wants to go to camping instead, then that change can be made at camp by an adult leader. So this just gives you the general information about the merit badge systems and blue cards. Moving to the next page, we have our merit badge difficulty chart. So this is a guideline we've been using over the last couple of years to give troops recommendations on what their scouts should be doing based on what their maturity level and their age level is. I do want to say now that it's not set in stone that they have to be 13 to do a merit badge or 12 to do a merit badge. They can do it at any age. But this is something that we've found over the years has helped troops sign their boys up for merit badges that the boys can do and complete. One of the things with the merit badge program is we want all boys to succeed, and by doing that, we want them to get the merit badge. But if they're signed up for a hard merit badge, they may not be able to do it well. So you kind of have your levels. Your 1's your basic. 2 starts getting a little harder, but still pretty easy. 3 is divided up into two sections. A is so 3A is anything that has a lot of writing and reporting, kind of like the environmental science merit badge. They're going to have to write a report or an essay on something. So it does involve some writing. Where 3B requires some more physical abilities. One of the ones there is canoeing. They're going to have to, part of canoeing merit badges, they have to get in and out of a canoe, and they have to then also, in the water, flip their canoe. And so it's more of a physical thing. It really sucks, and it's hard for an 11-year-old short scout to do some of those. So we just want to make sure that you guys understand the different difficulty levels out there. And then 4, of course, is those harder ones, or those ones that's going to take a lot of time during the week. So this is there for you guys to use as kind of a guideline for what merit badges you should sign up your scouts up for. I do want to make a note on here. You'll notice archery is a level 4. A couple years ago, I think 3 or 4 now, National changed the archery requirement to move the distance that they're shooting at by 5 yards. So an extra 5 yards on top of the distance. It doesn't sound like a lot, but it definitely was had a big impact. We saw classes, basically before that change, our pass rate was over 90%. And after that change, our pass rate was down to about 30%. So it is a harder merit badge. It can be a lot of work for a scout to pull back their 20 pound bow and aim it high enough that the arrow will get to the target and get their points. So just kind of keep that in mind when your boys are looking at merit badges. Moving on to the next page, you have the merit badge and activity worksheet. And this is the sheet that basically tells you when all the merit badges are going on. You'll notice the white spaces on there means that those classes are available during those time frames, and the gray boxes means that the classes are not available during those time frames. You'll notice on here some of the merit badges do require extra time. So all of these are put into 1 hour slots. However, some merit badges like canoeing and communications or first aid could require an extra half an hour to 2 hours. And those are reflected in there. And you'll see in the white spot the times on them. You also have some non-merit badge stuff on here, like the adult leader training. During those times, Monday or Tuesday through Thursday from 10 to 12, basically, we do adult leader training. That is the Scoutmaster and Assistant Scoutmaster specific trainings and the introduction to outdoor leadership skill trainings. So those are done. You also notice COPE. We have COPE on here with High Adventure. COPE stands for Challenging Outdoor Personal Experience, and it's some kind of high adventure stuff. It is a week-long class, just like any of these merit badges, but it's not a merit badge. The first 3 days they're going to be spending on the ground playing initiative games, getting to know each other, getting to know the staff, and the staff getting to know them. The last 2 days they will be spending 35 feet up in the air on our high ropes course. So this is just like a merit badge program. In order for them to do the high ropes course, They have to do the 3 days on the ground, doing the initiative games and stuff. The high ropes course is a obstacle course made out of telephone poles and steel cables. They go up all sorts of different elements to go down our 400-foot zip line to the ground. It's a lot of fun. It's a different program. We offer both a youth session in the mornings and an adult session in the afternoons. So there's information on here about those. We do say for the youth that we do ask that you are 14 years of age or older, and it's because that program does require some physical ability from a scout. The other question that we've gotten a lot is, if you notice towards the bottom in the Pathfinder area, you have our Trail to First class. There are 3 sessions, hour and a half each. Your scouts don't need to go to all 3 sessions to do the requirements. They just need to go to 1, because all the sessions are going to be the same each hour or each time slot, and if they go to all 3, they're doing the same thing over and over again each day. And the way our Trail to First class program works on this is this class session time is for those brand new scouts or those scouts that have almost no requirements signed off in their books. This is a great way for them to do those requirements, see what's there in the class setting. Monday will be they're going to go down and do the swimming requirements. Tuesday they might do knots and first aid. So they're going to do it in a class setting. If you have a scout that has most of the requirements signed off and only needs 1 requirement there, 1 requirement here, this really isn't the class for them. What we recommend for that is they go to the Pathfinder area during free times, and they can complete the requirements there. They can go during a free time and say, hey, I need to do requirement 1A from first class, and they'll sit down and work on those requirements. So if they have most of the requirements, I recommend not signing them up for the class, because they're just going to go over everything in tenderfoot, second class, and first class, and your scout might get bored. But if they're new to scouting and have almost nothing, then that is a class for them. On the side here, you'll notice it has information, all the swimming, all the waterfront stuff. They need to complete the swim test. And it also talks about prerequisites, which is on the next page. Something to note for both fishing and fly fishing. Our lake is on public land, so if you're 16 or older, then you will need to get a fishing license in order to be legal while fishing, and that includes adults. If the adults are going to go fishing, they also need to get a fishing license. We don't sell them at camp. The closest place would be Kernville, which is about a 45-minute drive to camp. That's the closest place you can get a fishing license. But you apparently can also get them online now. If you just go to the U.S. government page and type in fishing license, you'll be able to purchase a fishing license online also. So that is the merit badge activity sheet. The next page is our prerequisite page. This page, some of the merit badges that we teach do require some work that they have to do before camp in order to complete the merit badge. Some of that being camping requires 15 nights at camping. And we can't, camp's only a week long, so they don't get 15 nights there, and we can't give them that. Another one is geocaching requires some time to do stuff. One of the requirements is to release a geocache or a travel bug and watch it for a month. And so it's something they're going to have to do before coming to camp if they want to get the merit badge signed off while at camp. They don't need to have them done if they want to take the class. If they take the class and don't have those prerequisites done, they're going to get a partial in the merit badge. And when they get back home, they just need to find a counselor back home that will take their partial, help them finish the requirements, and get it signed off. So this form is there. It tells you every merit badge and what numbers are prerequisites. And so for them to get the merit badge completed, they're going to need to complete these beforehand. This here, we ask that one of these papers for every merit badge that Scout's enrolled in. So if you have a Scout taking camping and first aid and geocaching, they're going to need 3 of these forms filled out and signed. One of the other things here is that it does ask for proof. When the merit badges go live, you'll be able to find a document on our website called Proof, and the proof page, and what it's going to go over is how to show proof for these requirements. Some of these will be, they just need to talk to the Scoutmaster and show the proof to the Scoutmaster. Some of them, they're going to need to not only have this form signed off, but they need to bring the proof to camp because the requirement might say do something and then discuss it with the counselor. And so we want to make sure the Scoutmaster assures us that the Scout did it, and then we'll talk to them about it. We do it this way, that way. A Scout doesn't just say, hey, I did it, here's everything, and then gives his stuff to the next Scout and says, oh yeah, I've done it too, here's everything, and it's all the same stuff. That doesn't work. So you'll find a document shortly on what the proof is on our website. So this is one of those things, however, just kind of to note out there, if they don't, just by completing this and going to class every day doesn't mean they're going to get the merit badge. Some of the merit badges require them to do homework, to do other stuff, and if they don't do it, they don't participate, then they're not going to get the merit badge. So it's just something to remember, because we want to make sure the Scouts earn all the requirements for the merit badge to get it, and we don't just give it to them because they came to class every day. So that is the merit badge prerequisite form. The next page on here is the camp contactor information page, and this goes over, there's our camp website, the camp phone number, which you can use as an emergency contact number over the summer, or if you have questions. Don't call it from now until June 8th. If you call from now to June 8th, you'll pretty much get a voicemail that'll be checked about once a week. It's a number that once we start staffing the camp, then you can start calling and we'll have somebody there answering the phones all the time. So from now until June 8th, if you have questions, you can call the council office, which is both the number under the camping registrar and the number by my name at the bottom. And then after June 8th, you can call there. To the other side, we have the camping registrar, who is the person that helps with your guys' reservations and registrations. He's the person, if you're wanting to add a Scout, he would be the person to call and he'll help you with that. Kind of a side note with that, we do have room all weeks to add right now for adding of Scouts. We understand you guys are starting to get to the time frame of new Webelos who are bridging over into turning into new Scouts joining your troops, and the camp does have room for them all, so we can definitely help add more to your reservation as you get them. And calling our camping registrar or emailing him will be the way to do that. He is asking if you're emailing him or you want to get some Scouts added, that in the email you add the reservation number, or if you call him, he'll ask you for the reservation number. It makes it easier for him to find your troop's reservation. And then in an email, he would ask not only that you add, you say how many Scouts you'd like to add, but what your overall total is going to be after the add. So I want to add 2 Scouts, and that'll give my total to 6 Scouts. That just makes everyone's life easier, and that way he knows for sure how many you're going to have, and he doesn't accidentally add too many and try to overcharge you guys for not enough, or for too many Scouts that you don't actually bring to camp. Down a little more, you see the camp address. That's an address you guys can use to mail things to camp. If parents want to send care packages, that's the address they can use. We ask that they put before the Scouts name and stuff, they put, Camp Whitsett, or, they put the week that you guys are coming to camp. If they don't know the week, but they know the dates will work too. But we ask that you put some way that we know which week this box is for, along with the troop number, so we know what Scout, what troop the Scout is in, and then the Scout's name and this stuff here. As a side note for that, it does take mail a couple extra days to get to us than what it might take from you to mail something from San Diego to the Valley. So what a lot of troops will do is if parents are wanting to send care packages, they'll have them send it a week before. That way they know the package will get there when their Scouts are there. If it gets there before the Scouts come, we'll hold the package in the office until until you guys get up there, and then we'll give it out to you guys. I say that because every so often, usually once a week, we'll get one package that came after the scouts are gone, usually because the parent mailed it out on Tuesday or Wednesday, and because our mail takes longer, it didn't get there in time, so it's one of those things we'll have to hit return to sender on and send it back to you guys at home, and your scouts may not get their package when they're at camp like the parents want. So the other thing with that is we usually recommend USPS, the United States Postal Service, or UPS if they want to send packages. UPS and USPS are both reliable. We see mail from them on a daily basis. FedEx is kind of hit or miss. We sometimes get them, and sometimes they don't want to come to us and they leave our packages at Kernville. So just make sure you kind of get that information out. The other address on here is for our council office. So if you want to mail a check or something, that's the address you would mail it to. And lastly is my information, my phone number here at the office to my desk, and my email. I am going to say and let you guys know now that once May hits, I get very busy. I end up spending a lot of time going up and down to going to camp and coming back down for weekend trips up there, and I'm not always at my desk. So if you're wanting to get a hold of me then, I usually recommend emailing me because I'll check my email all the time. At midnight I'll start answering people's emails back or something. It'll be easier to get a hold of me. If you really want, you can leave. You can call my number, you might leave a message, and it'll take me a few days to get back to you. So the email, once May hits, is an easier way to get a hold of me and get questions answered. So the last page of this guide is our, it's just a little flyer to remind everybody that the camp is available year-round, not just for summer. Not only for Boy Scout groups, but we do have church groups and school groups come up to camp all the time to use the facilities during the spring and fall. And so this is a little more information on the availability of the camp and how to get more information if you're interested, whether you're a troop that wants to come up to camp in our camp and go whitewater rafting in Kernville, or you're affiliated with a school group or church group that is looking for a place to do some type of retreat. So we're there year-round. You can get a hold of us, and we want to be able to share the great beauty of the camp to everybody. Another page you got as a separate handout and will be available on our website is the Wilderness First Aid Training and CPR Review and Certification. We've had the pleasure of having a gentleman up at our camp the whole summer doing Wilderness First Aid, which is a training that seems like they're slowly almost going to be making needed for troops to go out and camp anything over 30 miles away from medical aid. Philmont already requires at least one adult leader from every group to have it, and I know the National Jamboree this last year required it also. So it's something we're offering at camp, and there's more information on the flyer. It's $50, which is pretty much a steal for this type of a training. If any of you guys have ever tried looking up this training outside of the camp, you'll notice you can spend up to $200, $250 for this training. And then the other thing we offer is CPR certifications, and he's doing it while you guys are up there at camp. So that kind of goes over the guide, the spring guide, and the training here. Some other questions that we've heard in the past. Whitewater rafting. We have whitewater rafting through a third-party company called Sierra South. You can find their information on our website. They do both a whitewater merit badge and they do the different trips. So you go for a couple hours, you go for half a day or a full day, or do the merit badge. Just for you guys know, questions going to be asked if their scout misses a merit badge session for whitewater. That's perfectly fine. They just need to go to their instructor beforehand, tell them, hey, I'm going to miss because of whitewater, whether it's a trip or a merit badge. And the instructor will work with them at another time to work on completing the requirements that they missed. If you noticed on the merit badge schedule, whitewater merit badge is a full one-day session. They only need to go one day, but it's a full session, a full day. So they'll be out of camp that whole time. We don't provide any transportation to Kernville for any whitewater troops, including the merit badge. It's up to the troops to provide that transportation. The rafting company does have both a bus that they can rent to pick up people and a van that they can use to come pick up people if you want. So you can work with them. Their information's there. You mentioned you're coming to Camp Whitsett for a summer program or for the program, and they give you a nice discount for the trip. Just as a side note, the water hasn't been the greatest up there, so I don't know how long they're going to be going with the whitewater rafting. It's something that you'll have to check with them on beforehand. Another question I've gotten in the past is about female leaders coming to camp. It's fine. We get them all the time. We have facilities for them, bathroom, showers. The one thing we do ask is you email the camping registrar beforehand to let us know, hey, you're going to have one female leader or 2 female leaders and maybe a couple males. That way we know beforehand, so we can make sure we do the tent assignments properly, so that you have enough tents for all the scouts and leaders in your troop. For campsite assignments, we usually don't do those until the Friday before you come to camp, and that's because we want to make sure we have the most up-to-date numbers, and we have troops in the past changing their numbers leading to the day they come to camp. So we'll assign them usually Friday or Saturday before you come to camp.